The desert air hung still and heavy, tasting of dust and the coming heat of the day. Dawn broke over the long-range firing range, casting long, sharp shadows from the figures silhouetted against the rising sun. A line of soldiers, a symphony of quiet, professional movement, prepared for the day's exercise. Each one moved with practiced efficiency, assembling sleek, modern precision rifles. Scopes were adjusted, bipods deployed, magazines clicked into place with a satisfying, metallic finality. The air crackled with a low hum of anticipation, the quiet confidence of experts at their craft. Then, a figure detached from the group, a female shooter walked toward the firing line. But the weapon in her hands wasn't one of the high-tech, polymer and steel marvels the others cradled. It was older, a classic design with a rich wooden stock, worn smooth in places from years of use. It looked out of place, almost an anachronism against the backdrop of cutting-edge military hardware. A low murmur rippled through the line of soldiers. It started with a smirk from a male soldier nearby, his lips curling in amusement. The smirk turned into a quiet, condescending chuckle, shared with a buddy. He gestured subtly, with his chin towards her and her rifle. Whispers followed, spreading like a contagion. Across the line, you could see heads shaking slowly, arms folding across chests in a universal language of disapproval and doubt. Someone mouthed the words, a silent question laced with ridicule, "Is that what you're using?" The female shooter seemed oblivious, or, perhaps, indifferent to the mockery. Her focus was absolute, a bubble of concentration that the whispers couldn't penetrate. She moved to her designated spot on the firing line, her steps measured and calm. A gust of wind suddenly picked up, whipping through the range, sending a spiral of dust dancing into the air. It was a tangible reminder of the challenge ahead. Far downrange, so distant it was just a speck to the naked eye, the target was revealed. A digital display next to the firing line flickered to life. 1,000 yards. A collective intake of breath. The whispers died instantly. 1,000 yards is a test of any shooter, with any rifle. With a variable wind, it becomes a master class in physics and instinct. Silence descended, a profound, ringing silence that was heavier than any sound. The world seemed to hold its breath. The smirking soldier's expression froze, his amusement replaced by a dawning curiosity. All eyes were now on her. They expected her to drop to the prone position, to deploy a bipod, to build a stable platform like everyone else. She did none of those things. She remained standing, her feet planted shoulder width apart, a statue of serene focus. She brought the old rifle up to her shoulder, the wooden stock settling into a familiar, perfect groove. There was no tremor, no wasted motion. Her breathing was a study in control. You could almost see the air entering her lungs, a slow, deliberate inhale, followed by a long, steady exhale. Her finger found the trigger, resting lightly. The world narrowed to just her, the rifle, and that tiny speck 1,000 yards away. Time seemed to stretch, seconds elongating into minutes. The trigger moved back, an almost imperceptible, smooth journey. The rifle cracked, a sharp, clean report that sliced through the silence. It didn't roar, it spoke with authority. The recoil was absorbed into her body, a seamless transfer of energy. She didn't flinch. The camera cuts instantly to the target. For a split second, there's nothing. Then, a dark hole punches through the exact center of the bullseye. Dead center. The impact is absolute, undeniable. Back on the firing line, the reaction is a cascade of disbelief. Jaws literally dropped, eyes went wide with astonishment. The soldier who had been openly mocking her was frozen, his mouth still slightly open from his last condescending laugh, his expression a perfect mask of shock. The collective judgment shattered in an instant, replaced by a dawning, silent respect. Flashes of memory cut through the scene. A montage reveals her past, grueling elite training exercises in mud and rain, the intense focus of a sniper in a concealed hide during a combat deployment, a chest full of medals, being pinned by a commanding officer, endless hours spent on ranges just like this one, mastering her craft until it was an extension of her very being. The old rifle wasn't a handicap, it was a part of her. The montage ends, and we are back on the firing line in the present moment. The dust settles, the wind dies down,